everybody. This is Deliverance Church International, Saika, and we are the youth of substance. Welcome back again to our talk show, and this is part 2 of episode 2, whereby we were talking about relationships and we majored on dating. And thank you so much, my panelists, for joining me again. And one of our panelists is not in, but will be joining us later. And thank you so much, Pastor Kevin, for finding time to come and join us. So the last time the last thing we talked about was the role of parents in a relationship. And many people have been asking, since a relationship is between two people, like a man and a woman or a lady and a gentleman, why would parents be involved? Pastor, can you kindly clarify to us why parents are involved in this thing that is maybe between two people?
You see, one of the biggest mistakes we always make as human beings is to say that marriage is between two people. Actually, marriage is between three people. Let me clarify. Marriage is between a husband or a man, a woman, and God, because God is the initiator of marriage. If you miss out God in a marriage, then you lose out anything. But these people must be married to God, then married to themselves. That one becomes a complete marriage. Let me come to the aspect of why parents are needed, or why parents play a very important role in marriage. Why the Bible talk about in Ephesians 6, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is a command that God is giving. Honor your father and mother. And as you read the final statement from that verse, it says that, so that you may live long. Now, obedience is a very wide field. It's a relative term, because there are so many areas you will obey your parents in. Because there is an aspect of advice. Remember, this parent of yours, your father, your mother, has been watching over you and has been taking care of you from your onset when you are a child to a person you are right now. So he or she will really understand the kind of a person you are. So they are able to see ahead of you, and they are able to guide you in whatever you're doing. That's why you can choose your friends, you can choose your job, you can choose anything, but you can never choose your parents. They are there to guide you through. They are there to see you through. They are there to show you the way. So it is very, very important when you involve them. And not just even in advice, but also in the ultimate blessing. When you allow them to walk with you, they will speak the final blessing even as you get into your marriage. So very, very important. Thank you.
And there's a question that most of the viewers were asking. It's about age gap, and they were asking if it is okay to date a lady who is older than a man, because biologically it is said that ladies mature faster than men. So I don't know whether it's okay to date a lady who is older than you. Pastor, can you help us on that?
I agree that it has been a point of contention. But one thing we always think that my neighbor's marriage should look like mine. So everybody has outlined some statements or some do's and don'ts of marriage. So whoever comes will feel these are the do's and these are the don'ts of marriage. But one thing I want to say is every marriage is unique to itself. So we have to embrace the uniqueness of each and every man. It is true that most of the time it's men who are older than ladies. But whenever you take a guy at home who is younger than you, your parents will be like, this is abnormal. But let me say this, as much as it is always the norm for guys to be older, but there can be a possibility that a woman who is older can be engaged to a guy or a man who is younger. It is allowed, but you have also to be very sure. Because you see, marriage operates on the foundations of love. is there genuine love? Most of such cases we see is when a younger guy engages to a woman. Most of the cases is because maybe the man is looking for cash from this lady. This is a gold digger man, if I may say so. He's looking for cash from this lady who is really rich. Most of the time that is what we see. But I have observed marriages where there is genuine love. Yes, the man is younger, the woman is older. But there is genuine love and also willingness for a woman to submit. Because most of the time, just as you've said, ladies get to grow faster, mature faster than men. So a younger woman is always very mature upstairs. But we've seen even in such a case, a woman still is submissive, even when she feels she knows so much, yet she's very submissive to this younger guy. And actually they make a very good couple. Yeah.
I want to know if you'll be okay by dating an older lady than you. Like, would you not feel intimidated by her?
I think for me, dating an older lady will be a challenge, because even as our pastor said that marriages are based on love, I also understand that marriages are based on knowledge or wisdom, if I may put it so. Because I could love a lady who is older than me, and but can we actually live together? Can you live together with someone who always thinks that your decisions are a bit childish because they are older than you? Because for me, I also believe above and in addition to love, like Pastor has said, weddings are, marriages and relationships are also based on wisdom. Because sometimes I ask myself a question: how could two people who really love each other divorce? Or how could you leave a girlfriend who you really love? It's because the love was there, but there was something else stronger than love that kicked you out. So I believe more than age is a very tricky thing for a man, but that's my opinion. Yes.
Okay. Now let's hear from the lady. Judy, would you date a man who is younger than you?
Personally, I wouldn't. I feel like I can kind of look down on him because he's young, and to be honest, I feel like I want an older man. For me, I want to date actually a man who is older than me, 2 years or 3 years. I want a man who is older than me, like from 5 to 10 years. So for me, dating a younger man, no.
So what if you're maybe you're attracted to a man and then you later on come to discover maybe he's younger than you?
I think that is about mindset. I can train my mind not to. Yeah, I found myself in that situation where you feel like you are attracted to someone because maybe he's big personally, but then again you come to realize the age he's younger than you. According to how I think I've set my mind, I feel like I cannot do it. So definitely, even if there was that attraction, it will just go away.
There was also another question that was really asked by many viewers, and it was about finances. And they were asking if a lady would date a man who is broke. So I don't know, Judy, would you date a man who is broke?
When we talk about being broke, how broke is he?
Very broke.
Very broken, eh? I can say yes. I don't mind dating a man who is broke as long as he has a future, he's hardworking, and he might not have the money today, but he's working hard for maybe our future. So whether he's broke or not,
So what do you mean by he's working hard and at the moment he's broke?
He's working hard, like now, you can be working, but maybe the kind of salary you are having, it's only enough to sustain yourself, yeah? Of that we can say you are broke, right? But maybe you don't know what about tomorrow. Tomorrow you might get another job, or maybe work harder, do a business, which will give you money.
Okay.
And the brokenness ends.
Joseph, And you, would you date a woman who is maybe wealthier than you?
Thank you, Judy, for supporting us. Of course, no one knows the future, and I would also like a lady who would take me the way that I am, knowing that I know you are shaking your head, but I don't. For me, of course, any man will try to have some money, but I can date a lady who is wealthier than me, and I will appreciate it if she can take me. In fact, I will be very happy because now the burden will be shared. There are no rules. Even David married a very rich woman. For your information, she was called Abigail. If you have read the Bible well, you will understand that David was really lucky to marry Abigail. She was a very rich woman. So the context is not the money. It's like the other basics working.
He's saying that you'll be so happy you'll be very happy, you've just said that you'll be very happy to date a woman who is wealthier than you. Meaning that you will maybe stop working hard because maybe the lady is richer.
No, I will support her big vision. We get married together. Like, there are some ladies who are they have bigger visions. So I will just support her vision. I know sometimes you look down at me, but I don't mind so much.
Because she has money or what?
If she loves me, whose fault is it that she has money? As long as she loves me. Money just kill me, I'll just take it. As long as she can love me, I'll be a very lucky boy. Just to say, of course, I also have to love her, if I can love her also. Because it could be a very rich lady and very ugly, or who is old, I should show. So it also depends if I can also love her. Yeah. Thank you.
And Pastor, I really need your help in this. Since you've heard what Mbatia has said, that you'll be very happy to date a rich lady. So what's your say on this?
I really love the discussion on finances. Let me say this. Money has always been a misleading aspect when it comes to relationship, because people define money as kind of a bright future. When they want to define you, they will define you on how much you own, what you have. And of course, the ladies of these days, they really can't date you unless they see you have money, or you are driving or something, you're doing a good job, which is okay, because they see future when they see money in you. But one thing they forget is where actually you are may really not be where you will be in future. You can be today so rich. We've seen families who began on a very rich start, but somewhere along the way they actually went so broke, and that one brought in issues to do with divorces and all that. So even as we are talking about dating a man who is broke, as Judy put it, I loved it, what is the future in him? Is there hope in whatever you're seeing? Because the man might be broke at that point, but actually when you look at him, he's somebody who is so smart upstairs. Personally, I was dating my wife when I was a houseboy. You will really be surprised. I was a houseboy. And where she used to stay, she was staying with her uncle, and the uncle was very rich. She only, because at some point I would not know where I would do my dinner or something, I will pass by their gate, and because we have phones, I will call her, and she will prepare a nice meal, put in a lunch box. So I will pass by, and the soldier knew when I passed, the soldier knew what my intention was. And most of the time he was like the broker or the middle person. He will keep the good stew for me. Immediately I pass, he hands it over to me. And that was how my courting was. I think my wife saw the future in me. I was hardworking. As much as I was a houseboy, I was very much hardworking. And that one attracted her to me. So it depends. A woman who is attracted to a man because of money, and money alone, then there is a problem. Money is a good, at least it shows a good future. But if that is what attracted you to that man, then there is a problem, because immediately that money is off, I can assure you will also be off. Yeah.
Just to add on what Pastor has said, first of all, you are very lucky, Pastor, that the stew will be hid somewhere for you. And she was not complaining. And that is, you are very lucky or blessed on that matter. No man would hate to have such a woman who can take him the way he is. But that does not give men leeway to be poor or to be lazy. Because sometimes guys are just broke because they are lazy, sorry to say. There are some guys who will not do some jobs. You know you are broke and you cannot do a certain job. Like, how do you want the lady to understand that you cannot buy her chips, and chips is 74? No, that's the fact. And you can do a manual job that can give you 100 bob. So the thing that men can be concerned, that if we are in this fame, that love can flow without finances, it should not be a leeway for laziness. Men should work very hard, because even in the Bible, even Adam, we know, he was given Eve after God had given him a job. So it's not a leeway to be lazy. Men should work extremely hard. Like I usually say, even ladies, they try their best to look as beautiful as they can. So even men should try as much as they can to get something and not to be lazy. Yeah, thank you.
And there's a question that was asked by one of our viewers that I think it's really critical, and she was asking if it's okay to send or listen to love songs that you've been sent by your partner. Whether it's okay to listen or send your partner a love song. Percy, is it okay to listen or send your partner a love song?
One thing our viewer needed to have clarified is, in her context, what did she mean about a love song? Because we have love songs of different, should I say, different origins or different levels. For example, are we talking from the secular perspective? Because we have actually love songs written by Christians, saved, speaking in tongues, going to heaven. Very good love songs. And we have those ones that are done from a secular perspective. That's a whole wide field if we begin to talk about songs. Spiritually, if we begin to tackle issues to do with songs, it's a very wide field. But let me just cut across and say this. Love songs in themselves, they are not bad songs, especially from or done from a Christian perspective, because we Christians also just love. We are attracted the same way any person is attracted. There is no holy attraction, like I'm attracted in a holy way. It's the love we're talking about, the eros love, kind of the love between a woman and a man. It's just the same across, and therefore it's also good for me to show you love. It's also good for me to show you that I'm attracted to you, and I may send you a love song so that you can listen, and also maybe just to get the message out of it, like dedicate a song to you. However, it also depends on what level of relationship are you guys in. If you just knew a man today, maybe you bumped into a man in a matatu. Matatu we mean PSV vehicle, and the man looked so good, and you also felt nice about the man. Then you exchange contacts. Then the next thing, he's sending you a love song. You see, it really doesn't make sense. It also depends. You guys have been working together, like the way we were talking. You've been courting, then went into a relationship. You are dating, went into a relationship, and now you're in courtship. No, this is just like you are now planning for marriage. I send you a love song. You will feel nice, and it will send a big message. So it also depends on the level of your relationship. But sharing or dedicating a love song to you, it's okay, especially from a Christian perspective. There are those songs, when we talk about love songs from a secular perspective. If I send you a video of a love song from a secular perspective, and you looked at the video, most of them, they are very bad videos. And are really videos that you wouldn't want to keep watching, because they will again instill a seed of immorality in you. So you also need to have defined the level of what would you want to watch, what you do want to see. Okay, I hope you understand what I mean.
Thank you, Pastor, for that clarification. The viewers, you still have so much to talk about, and my request is that you don't change the channel. We'll be right back in a moment.
Hi guys, how are you doing? Welcome to the Youth of Substance. This is a ministry in Delivering Church Saika. We are under the leadership of Reverend Owen and Violet Wafula. We are young, prophetic and transformative agents of life. We welcome you to find us on our Facebook page at Youth of Substance Saika Delivering Church. You can become a member of this group by joining our church at Delivering Church Saika behind Naivas Supermarket along Kangundo Road. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, my viewers, for staying tuned in, and welcome back. George, welcome back to our second segment. We really missed you on our first segment. On our first segment, we got to talk about finances. We talked about the age gap, and we also touched on love songs. And really, our pastor, he helped us on that story. And there's a question that has really been asked by most of the viewers, and they were asking how far can one go when it comes to hugging or kissing? And I think our pastor will maybe help us on that. Yes.
Let me just say something concerning the aspect of how far is far, because actually this is a question we encounter from all our walks. Whenever I'm dealing with young people, that is always the question: how far is far? We need to understand that love grows. And the same love you began with when you just met a girl or a lady, it's not the same love you will be at maybe 2-3 weeks or months down the line, because it keeps on growing. Why does it keep on growing? Because you keep on moving closer and closer. That is emotionally and all that. So I always advise ladies, because when it comes to your wedding day, we don't want to do just we're trying to show people that is a wedding which already took place kitambo. Whenever we talk about a wedding, really a wedding is when we talk of a man and a woman meeting physically. That is for sex or sexual intercourse. That is the real wedding we talk about. Whatever we see here is just to let witnesses know that there is a wedding. Unfortunately, most of couples come to the altar for officiating their wedding when actually they have already been together. Why? It's because they began somewhere. You began by just shaking your hand, then from there you went to another level, maybe pecking, as you're saying, then kissing, then all of a sudden it gets into the bed. It never just begins there, it began somewhere. I always advise young people to keep off. When we say abstinence, abstinence even comes to the level of the kissing and all that and the hugging. You have to keep away. Why? Because our bodies are weak. Our bodies are fiery. They are full of fire. Whenever we come into body contact, you spark fire, whereby you feel like it's now too late, we've been this for long, and therefore I think we need to grow. So today you shook hands, you feel, we've been shaking hands for a very long time. Maybe let's speak, then you feel like, it has been too long. Maybe let's hug. This hugging, I think, to Mesoea, so maybe let's go to kissing. Before long, you realize you've ended up in bed. So I always advise young people, keep off, shake hands, that is okay. But beyond there, please, you can keep off until that time when the pastor says, now you have become one. When you say, yes, I do, then now the others can follow. If you want to enjoy your marriage, let me tell you, you enjoy your marriage after you say, I do. Immediately you begin all these things of hugging and all that, and even now ending up in sex. Once you guys have now officially been married, I can assure you, you will not enjoy your marriage because you already used to it. So it is always good to keep on. If you are a girl, do you want your man to love you so much? Give, as in, put him at a distance. Men are these people, because I'm a man, I can say that these people, if you are quickly to access yourself to them, they will quickly, or they will think that you are cheap for them. They'll always want to go to a girl or a lady who will always try to say no to this, no kissing, no hugging and all that. Their love will develop much stronger because they will feel the same way you've denied them, that's the same way you'll deny another man. But if you are too quick to give them whatever they are demanding, that is how they will feel that. That is the same way you're quickly giving to other men. Yes.
Sure. Pastor, you say something very important. I've just been reminded of something I learned in primary. Right away from primary, in fact. You know, when you were in primary, they used to tell us that there's this thing we used to call ABCD. You remember that? Where we are being told that you have to abstain and be faithful. If you cannot be faithful, then you have to use the condom. Now that is part of the past that has gone. And those are the days when maybe those people who cannot be able to sustain themselves or rather control themselves. But when it comes to a scenario whereby now this is the time you are looking for someone who is very important to you, then it means you have to only secure two principles here. That is abstain and being faithful. Being faithful does not mean you don't go hugging, and it doesn't mean you go now kissing. Because kissing, with us men, actually we are attracted using our eyes, But there are some ladies who can run out of their minds because of the touch, There's someone, when you go kissing with them, they have not that self-control. So it may force you into something that you regret the entire life that you are having it, whether it is dating or planning for marriage. So I have come to realize that when someone said that this is a guy I had of late, his name is Henry. He said that when you are dating and you happen to have sex before that marriage, there are two things that will apply. One, that relationship will not continue, that dating will not continue. Actually, that having sex may end up finishing your relationship. And if you make a relationship and get married, he said that you can be assured if that relationship will work, it will come a point whereby, because you got used to this person, you may not end up being sustained in that marriage. Either you end up cheating in that marriage because there's something that you did and you realize now it is not being given as you are supposed to be given. So having such a things like having sex before marriage, or rather engaging into kissing and all those stuff, can get into something that will cost you your relationship. So I cannot, me personally, I will not actually, if I'm planning to get married to someone, those are the things I am supposed to be careful at, because I don't want to end my marriage because of dating, because of just kissing or having those caresses, right? Yeah.
And Basia, do you have something to say concerning that?
This is a good thing, and I believe from the point of it depends, because some Christians, before they came to God or before they became Christians as per se, they had kissed, they had had sex, they had done all those things. First of all, they are forgiven, I believe. So it starts from the point of salvation, I believe. So after salvation and you start dating, should you kiss? I would like to read a quote from a very old book here. It says, it's not proper for a God-fearing man who blesses with his mouth the living God, and eats the blessed bread of life, and drinks of the blessed cup of immortality, and is anointed with the blessed ointment of incorruption, to kiss a strange woman, or to kiss a strange woman. A stranger, that a strange is someone who you are not conjoined with in marriage. So I believe you should not kiss, or I believe it should never go into the point where you have sex. The kissing could not be bad, but where the kissing leads to, it's sex. The hugging could not be bad, because I know some youth hug everywhere. You know, there are some guys who really hug, and hugging to them is like nothing. They hug their mother. I know some of us hug their mothers. Like myself, I hug my mother. So for me to hug will not be a sex temptation. But anything else that would lead me to sexual temptation, I think that is what is bad, because it's basically we are saying these physical things, though they are not a sin by themselves, they could lead to sexual perversion. Yeah, thank you.
I think just to throw in a bit of what Batia was saying, and of course what George was also saying, just as I said, you see, sex, hugging, kissing, and all that, anything that surrounds sex, I always term it as a nose ring to a bull. Even the toughest bull, all you need is to put a ring on its nose, and you can pull that bull to any direction. Ladies, you need to understand that sex is one of the most precious things you can ever give to a man. If you know that you will use it as your winning battle to any man, do you want to reach a man's heart? Keep your sex out of the picture until that day when you say I do. I'm telling you, that man will value the rest of his life. People always think that when I give myself sexually to a man, I will win his heart. That is before marriage. Actually, that is the worst mistake you can do. That is what you use to chase a man away. If there is something a man loves, is a woman who is not easy to take. I remember when I was also trying to look for a lady to marry. You see, by the reason that I was popular in church, in the sense that I was involved in many activities, many ladies went out for me, like they were eyeing me. You remember what we were talking last time? Many ladies will send out non-verbal messages. But one thing that I loved my current wife is she was kind of I don't care person. Like, she never went out to do things that will attract me to her. And that is what actually attracted me to her, because she was not attracted, she was not, like, she did not attract me to her. and I ended up being attracted to her. That is something that ladies miss out. They always think that when I want to win a man, then I have to position myself to attract. Yes, that is good, but make sure that you have limits and you have boundaries. That one will help you. Our bodies are like fireballs. You see, if I'm in love with a woman, even shaking her hand, it really transfers a lot of messages. Now, leave alone even hugging or kissing. Even shaking the hand transfers a lot of information in between. So the best thing you can do, in fact, is to try as much as possible to keep on. No wonder we advise young people, if you have to meet in an open place, in a restaurant, meet in Uhuru Park, Arboretum, go wherever, where there are people, do your meetings there. That one prevents you to go beyond. But if a man tells you, can you pay me a visit in my house, at least see how it is, so that you can begin to think of how you'll arrange it after you get married. That one is a big trap. That is a devil. In fact, you need to run away.
And there's another question that was coming, and they were asking, how can one do to avoid irresponsible sexual behavior in campus? There's one of our viewers who asked that question.
So a young person has left high school and here he is in campus. There is no father, there is no mother, there are no teachers. In fact, you reach there and you are told as long as you can attend 70% of classes, that is good to go for you. So you meet a lot of freedom. And you see, if you don't know how to manage freedom, freedom becomes one of the biggest problems. And this is what is killing, or what is bringing the behavior we are seeing in campuses, where there's a lot of freedom, you mingle as you want, it's girls and boys or men and women. So most of the people lose weight in such a matter. Now you get into these groupings, you see this is a group for rich people, this is a group I don't know for who. And now you want also to be associated with a group of rich people. You'll see even the big people, rich men, driving into the campus to look for lovers and all that. Temptation becomes very high. Avoiding such behaviors or sexual behaviors that happens in campuses, I always advise people, have your personal stand. Understand where you're headed to, where you're coming from and where you're headed to. Understand what brought you to that campus. What did you come to do? What did you come to achieve? When you understand where you're headed to, you will not be deviated from the way by what you're saying. You will not fall for that rich man or that rich woman. You will not fall for those rich friends or something. They are driving big cars and also you want to be part of that cocoon or driving such cars. Don't fall for such temptation. Stand, make your stand strong. And most of the time we always tell our young people, join yourself with some of the clubs, the Christian Union clubs. I have a niece who is so committed into Christian Union that they do a lot of mission. So most of the time, weekends, they are out for missions. During the weekdays, you find them, they are into maybe academics and all that. And they don't find themselves in such temptations. So it is a personal stand that will drive you into where you want to go. It's not about somebody, your parent, your mother, your father, or somebody who will come and tell you, let's go this direction. It is you to make up your mind to decide that you will not be involved in sex and therefore you move the direction you want. Matters to do with sex, it is a personal decision. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what you have achieved. It is your personal decision you make in life that will drive you to the right direction.
George, do you have anything to add on that?
Maybe what I can say, just like Pastor said, you understand this is a stage whereby, this is a stage whereby someone is growing mentally, psychologically, you have not prepared yourself for such a thing, and now it is getting you like off guard. You don't know how to do and how to go about it. And what on it, you have friends who have got experience that you have not been in. And if you are not very careful, you are so prone to get into such as troubles. Because I remember these are things we have gone in and gone through. And you know, when you're in campus, there's some things you want to try. You want to make some experiments that you never tried when you were in high school. Maybe you were in a boarding school, and maybe if you are a guy, you've been in a boys boarding school. You are a girl, you've been in a girls boarding school. Now, this is the time you've been given all the freedom. So it's just upon you, if you actually want to escape such a kind of traps, is to make sure that you create your own space, just like Pastor said. Because if you don't create your own space, somebody is going to invade your space, and somebody is going to interfere with the future maybe that you're planning. And mark you, this is a time that most of the people have not made up their mind who they want to be. You want to do a course, maybe you are just forced to do it, or rather you chose it, but you're not so sure about it. So you must be very careful and to ensure that the people you are choosing. Someone said that you can let the bird fly around your head. The bird can fly around your head, but it is upon you to make sure that you don't allow it to build a nest on your head. So if you allow that person to come in your life, you know this person is going to mess with my life, man, it's going to be terrible. So you just have to be careful. Otherwise, it becomes a party that you won't like in future. Yeah.
Did you face such challenges when you were in campus?
One thing I can say is, in campus, challenges are very high, and temptations they are also very high. But just like what Master said, it's a personal choice. You have to respect yourself, know what you want, and make the decision that you know which direction you're headed to. Also surround yourself with people that are going in the same direction. Yeah, because I don't see why or how I can say I want to live a holy life in campus. Then the people that I'm surrounding myself with, they are those people who are going out there clubbing at night. Maybe after school they are taking the drinks in their rooms. You surround yourself with those people who you know you are heading the same direction, and also join those clubs, as like what Pastor said, those fellowshipping clubs in university, so you can use those ones. Yeah.
Like our pastor have said, for me the advice that I'll give to any young man is know what you want. For sure, it's after you know what you want, that's how behavior change comes. Like I usually say, people who have destinies protect themselves. If you are a young man, you know, I want God to bless me. I want God to help me here. So you have to keep yourself. We are told the story of Joseph. Joseph, if you read that story very well, you see that he was tempted. That lady who was tempting Joseph was a very beautiful lady. So he decided within himself. So it depends, how do you decide? The thing is that the temptation will be there. We are saying that don't kiss. You can find yourself kissing a lady. We are saying don't hug with all respect, but you might find yourself hugging. But inside yourself you have to know what really drives. What do I want God to do for me? If you know, like Joseph knew, like, do you think when that lady was holding the garment of Joseph, Joseph must have been very near that lady. That lady, if I read the old stories of the Egyptians, that lady was one of the most beautiful ladies. And the fact is that beautiful ladies will always come. This one will go, another one will come. So my advice to myself and to any young man is, don't be in a hurry. Hold yourself until you achieve what God has for you. Then you can have the girl will come. When you are at your position, that lady who you have always admired. There's a saying in Kenya when they say that the beautiful ones are yet to be born. That means that there will always be a lady for you. Hold yourself, and when you are blessed, my friend, they will fight for you. As I don't know whether they can fight for you, but you can get more than one. When you are blessed, we usually say, like Pasi was saying, finances matter. That's the truth. If I had some money, my friend, maybe some of these girls will be fighting for me. So why don't you get that money? Leave alone whoever wants to go. Keep yourself. Then when you get the blessing, now you can marry whoever you want. The beautiful girl that you are looking for. So it depends with what you really want. What is your prophetic destiny? Yeah.
Actually, just to add on what Joseph is saying, equip yourself with what is necessary for you or for your success. Then the right people will begin to come into your life. Do not equip yourself with what you're thinking is the right person. You equip yourself with what will make you succeed. Then you'll get the person who is tuned to your vision. Like we were talking in our first episode, which we were saying that it will be so bad if you marry your enemy. Do you know how you get to marry your enemy? It's because you engaged yourself with a person before you grasped your vision. So when that person came into your life, she or he came without seeing the vision you have. So birthing the vision that you're supposed to carry to your success becomes a problem. Because that person came into your life at that point when you were visionless. Now birthing a vision becomes a problem. But if you birth your vision to your success, now this person who is rightful for you will see that vision and will feel, this is the vision I was looking for. Then they will come in your life. So they come because they have seen the vision. Then they will be able to rally behind the vision so that you are able to succeed. So it is always important to go beyond just the skirt and the size 8 and the figure you're seeing and the brown you're seeing and all that. Go beyond those ones. Begin to see the qualities inside. You see, these bodies we see, I always tell young people, you can always package them the way you want. Even the ugliest woman, if she just packaged herself well, she will look so beautiful. So, do not be lied to that the woman you're seeing because she's dressed well, she's brown and all that, and she speaks good English, then this one is the right kind of a person. Does she have you? Or can you see yourself in her? That's what I'm trying to say. Can you see yourself in her? Is there something you want to achieve in life that you can see it in her? Because that's the most important. If you cannot see anything in you, in her, then you're wasting your time. You'd rather get the most ugliest, but what she has, she can drive you to where you are headed to. You see, let me say this as I hand over to the director. Let me say this. Beauty, actually beauty is just as good as ugly. Let me explain. However beautiful a woman is, George, if the character is ugly, that woman in your presence and in your eyes, she will just be as ugly as that ugly in face. I can assure you. Let nobody deny you that a beautifully looking woman, however bad she is, she will still be beautiful. No. That's why when you see women who are being killed by men are so beautiful, so brown, you're wondering, why this man cannot see this brownness? If you don't understand, that's Greek. That is actually what we are saying. Even the most ugliest woman, if I may say so, or man, if that woman or man has organized himself or herself very well, on a vision, she's headed somewhere, she's an achiever, she's a fighter, even with the ugly face that she looks like, she will just be so beautiful to you because you're looking. Beauty is inside, not the out figure we see.
That is a good pastor. Let me, I've just remembered something. You know, while we are talking about those guys who are getting these troubles while in campus, and you know, while in campus, you will have so many friends. Let me tell you this. You know, when you are in campus, there are these guys who are walking like they have the crowd guys, you know, they have friends. A girl has got like several guys who are crashing on her. Now this is the girl who is walking and raising her shoulders, knowing that I have guys who are trying to come for me. So I have to present myself. Let me tell you, this is the time you have to watch your destiny, just like Joseph said, because these are the people who are going to destroy your destiny. If you have a destiny and you know that I am going this direction and you are seeing a lot of guys following you, be careful. Just be very careful, because just like Joseph said, Joseph had several and so many enemies, if I may call, troubles on the way to the destiny that he had. That means it calls to us to be very careful with the people who are coming on my way. Just like a guy having so many guys and he tells you, this campus, man, I've got so many guys in this campus, I don't know who to take today and I don't know who to take tomorrow. These are the time you have to watch your destiny, because you don't know if you have got a good destiny and you're engaging yourself to matters that are going to destroy this destiny at this point, then you struggle so much to reach that destiny. But if you want to cultivate your destiny at that stage, that's the right time when you must be very careful with the person who comes in and the person, it doesn't matter who goes out. Be very careful with the person who comes in, because they are coming in to destroy your destiny. And mark you, someone say that there are those people who say that I love that guy because he has got so nice personality that he's outgoing, so I have to hook up with him or her. And the same mistake is made when someone is dating. Just because you saw him or you saw her with very wonderful personalities, you think you are going to get married to that personality. It doesn't go that way. The way Pastor has said, you are going to marry the person in that person. If you get connected to me, if we start dating, you are not dating me because of my personality. If you are dating me because of my personality, then it means that day when you tell me to go out and I've been going out, you switch up your mind and say, I thought this guy was supposed to be taking me out, now he's not taking me out. Are you going to withdraw from that relationship? You won't. So we need to get those people who we have seen the person in them is actually a good character or good character, and that one can lead you to something good or nice in marriage. Yeah.
Wow, this is really getting interesting, and I believe that as much as you're enjoying it, you're really getting to, you're learning something and you're getting answers from the questions that you guys have been asking. So keep the questions coming. You can send on the number that is below, and we really have so much to talk about, and this is our second segment, and stay tuned in for the third segment.
Hi everyone, I'm Joseph, the current chairman of the Youth of Substance. Guys, we do our charity works, hold our youth services every last Sunday of the month, go for retreats and vacations, and also do our monthly youth kesha. I'm so delighted to welcome you to our church, and may the good Lord bless you. Amen.
Welcome back, our viewers, to our third segment. And Pastor, our panelists seem to have some questions that they would really like to ask you. So Joseph, would you mind asking your question?
Yeah, thank you. Pastor, there is something that you have said that has really triggered a question that I've always asked myself. You said that you should marry someone you can see your character inside them. Because when I read the book of Genesis, I saw that Eve was cloned from Adam. And when I look at the cloned sheep, I know you guys have seen the sheep that are cloned. They look exactly behavior-wise and sometimes physical, like the mother sheep. So does it mean you should, let's say if I love business, should I look for a lady who loves business? Should I get my personality in her, or what is it really that I should look to get in her?
Let me say, you may not really look for somebody who is doing what you're doing or your thing, unless that is what you want to. You look at somebody who compliments you. For example, there are those things in you which you feel like, I would love to have a wife who has this and this, or who does this and that. It might not be business per se, but maybe she's business minded. You see, she's in employment, yes, but when you listen to her reason, she reasons like a business person. So you're looking at things that will complement you, will make you become a better person. For example, if I may give my own example, what made me so attracted to my wife at that time, I was looking for that person who is a fighter. Not a woman who I will leave at home, then she calls me, oh, there's a cockroach on top of the cupboard, what do I do? Please come. I'm looking at somebody who I will come and he says, by the way, this happened and I sorted, this happened and I sorted, so that where I am, I'm at peace. Not somebody who will call me and tell me, oh, my kid has a fever, now what do we do? I want somebody who will call me and tell me, I'm already in the hospital, the kid has got a fever, so please you can come over, or if it's not possible, I'll update you. Somebody who gives solutions, yeah. But then let me say this, men love women who carry solutions. A man, to get a woman who has solutions, you have hit the jackpot. Men always like that. Women who have solutions. You have a problem, they give a solution. That one attracts a man to a woman. And a woman will love a man who has affection, because women love to be loved. So we look for a man who can love them. But a man looks for a woman who has solution. The reason we are having problems in marriages is because a woman has become a problem and gives problems instead of solutions. You bring this, it's a problem. You bring this, you eat. He says you ate a lot. You don't eat, you're not eating. She's always creating a problem out of anything. That one to a man keeps him up. So what I'm saying is, look at things, attributes that will complement you, will make you feel better. That, having said so, doesn't mean that also there are not men who are problematic. We also have men who are so problematic. Women will always love men who know themselves, they are secure. If you are secure, you understand yourself, you provide in a better way. You provide whatever is needed. And at the same time, you love her, you love the children. They will always feel safe. As long as you can bring that aspect of security to a woman, you have won the heart of a woman. That, having said so, doesn't mean that also there are not men who are problematic. We also have men who are so problematic. Women will always love men who know themselves, they are secure. If you are secure, you understand yourself, you provide in a better way. You provide whatever is needed. And at the same time, you love her, you love the children. They will always feel safe. As long as you can bring that aspect of security to a woman, you have won the heart of a woman. Yes. Having mentioned on the aspect of security in a family, I'll just also quickly interject to say that it's always good for you to understand when it comes to protocol from a spiritual perspective, God is always the head of a family. Then a man comes in as the head. God is the head of all, or the head of the entire family. A man becomes the head of the family. Then a woman becomes the helper to a man. Now let me try to explain so that you may be able to understand. Sometimes people will always ask, who comes first in matters to do with family? When it comes to maybe matters spiritual, we always say that God will always come first. Then to a man, a family will always come second as a family. Then other things or church comes the third. God comes first, family comes second, church comes third. When we say God and church, these are two different things. God is different from church as much as they complement each other. Because you can be working for God and actually God is not involved. You're just busy in church, left your family, but God is not involved in what you're doing. It's important to make God to be the head of the family, but your family needs to follow second. I've met men who would always feel, after God, church comes, so I need to be busy in the church, then from there my family comes first. When you meet such a man, that one needs proper spiritual counseling. Once you've obeyed God, you've given your family to God, your family comes second. That is the aspect of security which I'm saying. A man needs to take care of the family. We talked in our previous episode about a broke man and such like things. Now, when it comes to provision after you've come into a family, a man needs to be entitled to provide for his family, to provide for his parents, not to provide for his wife and the children. Of course, the wife needs to help, it's okay, but a man needs to take that responsibility. But it's important when that protocol is kept, as far as God being the head, man coming in as the head of the family, and the woman complementing the man to raise the family. And also, if I may say also, because when we talk about protocol, God being the head, man the head of the family, the woman complements, we've always had cases where you get maybe a wife is doing a better job than the man, she's earning so much, and she's so managed in a way that submission becomes a problem. I want to let you understand, you my viewer, as we discuss this issue. As a woman, however much you are rich and you own so much, more than your husband, understand that he still remains to be the priest of the home. He still remains to be the head. He still remains to be the person who needs to give advice, the person who needs to lead the family. So, provide, yes, at that moment, but please, the best thing is provide through him. Do you need anything? I'd rather to allow him be or buy it or acquire it, even if it is you who get the money. It is always important. When you make your man become the king, you automatically become the queen. Let me repeat that. When you make your man become the king, you automatically become the queen. You can never become a king however much you have money and authority and all that. So the best, make him be the king. You will be the queen. And life will be so, so good. Thank you.
Pastor, I also have a question. Some of us, before we got saved, we have a history. Our past was not so good. We were involved in these things. We hugged, we kissed, we had sex. And some of us, we find that we were in a relationship, maybe not with one man, maybe two relationships. You find that both of them, you had sex with them. And it's always said that when you sleep with a man, you become one, or your souls tie together, right? So if you get saved, remember you had sex with the previous man and your souls are still tied. What are you supposed to do to untie yourself? Or maybe if you get saved in the process that you are still in a relationship with that man and you still had sex with him before, are you supposed to like cut this thing, or what are you supposed to do about it?
Thank you for such a beautiful question. As you are saying, it is very true. When you are joined sexually to a man or a woman, you become one because you transfer the emotional part of him and her into one of you. No wonder the Bible will say that when you are joined together as a man, as a husband and wife, you become one because you begin to share. There is something we call intimacy, which is a term used in sexual terms. You realize it is the same term that is used when you're talking about your relationship with God, intimate with God. Yet in sexuality we also call intimacy. Why? It's because intimacy brings oneness. When you become intimate through sexual, you become one. When you become intimate with God, you become one. So there is that aspect. What you're saying is very true. Now, coming to your question, let me just read for you 2 Corinthians 5:17. The Bible says, NIV, therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The old has gone. The new is here. What the Bible means is, whenever you receive Christ as your personal Savior, whatever your history was, doesn't matter if you killed, doesn't matter if you had sex and all that, it is swept away. You become a clean person. You're not refurbished the way you can refurbish a computer, no. You completely become a clean and a new person. At that point, even if you had lost your virginity before you got saved, you acquire what we call secondary virginity. You become a virgin, but secondarily, because you have received Christ. Now you become a new creature. So forget about what happened. Whatever you are joined with, whoever you are joined with, God will separate you. Of course, through guidance and counseling, you go through what we call deliverance. You're prayed for, you're delivered out of that, because if you're not, those things will keep on pulling you back. Have you not seen saved people who are still marrying 5 wives, 4 wives, and those wives were married when he was saved, not when he was still... why? It's because he's still being pulled back to his old nature. So you go through guidance, prayers, deliverance, so that now you completely acquire your new creature, your new creation that you have.
Pastor, just before, let me... Or you still have to try something? On the same, you say that once you get saved, you become a new creature, or rather, you become new. That's what the Bible says. But the Bible also says that whatever man sows, he shall reap. You understand? That means whatever you did in the past, it is most probably that it may come at some point.
Very true. Now, let me explain that so that you don't get confused into the scriptures. You see, whenever you sin, there are consequences to it. That consequence you can never escape. The wages of sin is death. So definitely when you sin, its wage is you must die. Okay, I'm not saying you'll be killed or something, but what I'm saying, there are consequences. For example, if you are involved in sexual immorality, for example, there are consequences like maybe you got pregnant, and now you have a baby. You know, those are consequences. Yes. We cannot say that you will you will still be tied to that man who you had sex with. You see, those are what we call ties which can be broken. Ties that can be broken. You break and you move on. But even if you break and move on, there are consequences that come with such ties. Now, those consequences are the one you may not escape. Maybe the baby will always be there to show you that you fell into sin. Now this is the consequences. So you have to live with them, you see. But there are things which will be broken so that they allow you to move on with your life.
In short, what you're saying is that if there's anyone outside there who has been engaging herself or himself in such a kind of issues, or other troubles, this person can get saved, and then he or she can be delivered, and those ties be broken, and they become a new being, right? So guys, if you're outside there, you think you've been going through such a things, and you think like maybe God will never forgive me. Actually, Pastor, the Bible has said, and he has said, that you can be saved, you can be cleansed, you can be delivered, and you become a new you. So it means those things will be taken away, and you'll be a new man or a new girl, right? Yeah.
On that same thing, Pastor, you have said that when we get saved, our past is forgiven. Does it mean if I had sex before I got a kid, is it okay for a man who is saved, now that I'm saved, we can date? Or maybe I date a man who also had a kid somewhere before, is it allowed?
Pardon again? Could not get the question.
I'm saying, you said that once we get saved, our past is gone, yeah? Now me as Judy, I'm saved. And in my past, I did whatever I did and I got a kid. Is it okay for me to date a man, maybe who is saved, does not have a kid, or maybe a man who also have a kid somewhere out there? Yeah.
You see, that one is prone to a lot of discussion, because we need to understand what happened because you can be joined, or you want to join yourself to a man who has a kid, and actually you realize this man was actually married, and the wife is also still there, because you need to get the history. Was it a mistake? Like now for you, maybe you just fell into sex with somebody, by accident you got a kid. So we need to get that history together and see. There's no problem for you to get married to a man who has a kid. There's no problem, but it's important for you to get the history. What happened before? Is this man, was he married? Is the wife still there? Those are the questions that needs to be answered. Even you, the kid you got, was it just by accident, or you actually married and you got that kid? So it's important in such a case to bring the issues on the table, let them be discussed, let's see the situation, then from there now we can agree. So you can get married to a man with a kid or a man without a kid, as long as he loves you and you love him and you fit each other. There's no problem. Maybe also just to emphasize a bit on the importance of preparation towards marriage. There's something we call counseling, where you go to your spiritual father or a pastor to counsel you as you're headed towards marriage. Now that is the point we were talking about, courtship. Well, now you're in courtship. You get into marriage counseling, where you're counseled on matters to where you're headed to in your marriage. So at that point is when now the pastor will be able to tackle some of those pending issues. Yeah, but it's important that when you have such an issue of kids in your family, it will be important even before you can agree to the man to get married. Go to your pastor and find out, Pastor, I've gotten this man, he loves me, but he has a kid, and the pastor will be able to ask those questions so that he can give you a green light to move on. Then even as you move on now, you will begin the counseling sessions, where now he will be able to tell you, now you guys have kids that you're coming with in the family. These are things that are prone to happen, so take care so that they don't again work against your marriage. Yes.
Pastor, I also have a question or a comment on what you have said, that when you sleep with someone, you become one. So I was asking, as long as, let's say, a girl slept with 5 men and the man slept with 3 ladies, and they both got born again, they didn't know that someone needs deliverance. So does it mean, assume now I slept with 3 girls, the lady slept with 5 men. We come together, we are just born again, we come together. Does it mean unless we are delivered, we are still conjoined with the guys that we slept with when we were in the world? Or is it automatic, like if you pray for me today, I get born again? Is it so automatic that I get delivered from the conjoining that I had with those sexual partners outside there? Or does it need a deliberate effort of deliverance?
When we come to matters spiritual, you remember there is a statement Jesus said, and he said this. He was quoting, or he was commenting on matters fasting, and he said, and for such things, they can never go away but through prayer and fasting. He was trying to isolate some matters from the general crowd of just prayer, to say there are things that might need a higher effort. There are things that might need a deliberate move towards walking away from them. Let me tell you, most of the things that bring issues in families, there are those ties. We call them soul ties. There are those soul ties that happened when you guys were, before you got together and you got married. You remember what I was saying last time, that marriage foundation is not established during marriage. It is established as you're walking towards marriage. That is what counts most. So you realize that most of the family problems that we have, there are those problems that come because of those soul ties. You're tied to a certain man, you're tied to a certain woman. So whenever you think about that woman or that man, it destabilizes you because emotionally you guys are joined together. So it is always important that when we are talking about marriage counseling, you bring such issues out. You guys have already talked, you and the lady, and you've said, oh, this has been our walk. Now you bring it before your pastor and you say, Pastor, this has been our walk. Please help us. Pastor will be able to pray a deliberate prayer concerning it so that he's able to hook you out of those ties.
Okay, thank you. And can those soul ties be, is it only sex or even kissing brings soul ties? Is it only sex or any other, like say we are saying pecking, kissing?
Most of the time, pecking and kissing is a leading to sex. Soul ties, they come through sex. Because that is the only point that the Bible, that is what makes you one. That is what cements a marriage. You get it? A marriage is cemented through sex. Traditionally, and when you read even in the Bible, you'll find such a story where after marriage, a man was allowed to go and sleep with a woman, and they will go and check the bed sheets if there is blood in it to confirm that the woman was a virgin. Why? That was like what was now to cement, to now completely now tie the marriage so that it now becomes an official marriage. So the kissing and the pecking, there are things we avoid because they will now lead you to now you becoming tied together. But in itself, it doesn't make you become one or you tied soul-wise. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my panelists, for asking those questions. And thank you, Pastor, for clarifying. So there's one more question that I've received from our viewers, one of our viewers, and he was asking, I'm crushing on two ladies and I feel like I love both of them. So I don't want to double deal. What do I do to make sure that I choose the right lady from the two?
Well, actually it happens. First of all, you need to thank God that you're being crushed on by two guys or two ladies. Because there is somebody somewhere who is trying to get even one and they can't get. So that one, first of all, it's our Thanksgiving. But now, what you need to be careful. It's good for them to crush on you. It can be either way, by the way. Two guys crashing on one lady or two ladies crashing on one guy. It happens and it's normal. But you need to be careful. Right now, we have the Spirit of God, if I may answer from a spiritual perspective, who can tell you that, who you can pray and he can tell you. You know, long time ago before we had the Spirit of God to tell us, somebody will do what we call whoever comes first. Whoever comes, you know, you say, today if John comes at 11 a.m., I will know that it is John. So if Joshua comes at 12, you will know Joshua is not the guy. But now we have the Spirit of God who you can pray and the Spirit of God will lead you to the right person. Because there are things you may not see beyond. Sometimes, you know, we always say you fall in love. You're blinded by the love you're giving. And there are some nitty-gritties you cannot see. So in such a situation, I will ask or request you to pray and ask the Holy Spirit to lead you and to guide you to the right person. And whoever is not the right person, you can ask the Spirit of God to keep him off you, and he will, so that now you move on with the right person. Yeah.
Pastor, I also have a question. I've just remembered a question a friend of mine asked me actually. He said this way, that he was in a relationship, or rather he's in a relationship with a lady who is also working and he's also working, and they wanted to create an account, a joint account, just because they were dating and they were thinking they are thinking they can be in a marriage, but now it's a dating. So he asked me, is it good if I can go ahead and have a joint account with my girlfriend or my boyfriend? Is it really good?
One of the two is a gold digger. You can be sure of that. So whoever has money is the one who will be dug into.
They both have money, of course.
even if both have money, there is one who is moneyed more than the other. Now, the reason I'm saying, okay, none of them is a gold digger. I was just giving an open comment. But let me tell you, that means what will keep this relationship going on is money. It is the joint account. There is a possibility that one of them feels insecure that this man can leave me. And maybe because he doesn't want to sleep with me so that maybe I have his kid or something, what I'll do, let's have a joint account. And I make sure all of us invest heavily. So that when I feel that the lady is not good, when I feel like I want to step out of the relationship, I remember, but there is a joint account. How will I get money? So that one is dangerous. Don't have a joint account until you say, yes, I do. Even if you're in courtship, it can break, and it's allowed to break. Courtship is allowed, relationship is allowed. The only thing that is not allowed to break unless otherwise is the marriage. So immediately you get married, now you can have a joint account, is okay. But dating, relating, or in courtship, don't have a joint account.
You can't even do things to do with business, or rather maybe...
No, don't. It's not a good option at that point, because in case something happens and you guys break apart, there will be a big problem, because you'll begin to fight on who owns shares, which shares are which. You'll begin to fight on those. They will end you up into jail and such like things. So I'd rather don't do any things together until you guys say yes, I do.
I'm sure my friend is listening to this, so he got the answer.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, my viewers, for your time. Thank you for staying tuned in. And I believe this has been a learning session. And I believe that you've handled and tackled most of the questions that were critical, that you guys were asking, most of the questions that were burning. And I believe that now you're looking at dating in a different perspective. So at this juncture, I'd like to give my panelists a chance to give us their parting shots. Welcome, Joseph.
Thank you, madam, and thank you, the viewers. For me, I think my takeaways are two: that dating should be God-guided, and that it should be controlled under the guidance of the word of the Lord, and that, thank you, Pastor, because I believe I've learned so much. Now I think I will date differently, and when courtship comes, I will court differently, and I will marry differently. Thank you.
Gigi, wow, this has been great. Thank you very much. I believe everybody has learned something. And I can say this to my viewers or to our viewers, my fellow youths out there, know what you want, respect yourself, and be very careful when you involve yourself in a relationship. Thank you.
I want to thank my pastor for such an exposition, and maybe to our viewers, it is a high chance that we should receive God's wisdom in every step we make, especially in things to do with or within the framework of relationship, that is dating, courtship, and marriage, because these are the things that actually holds our life and the stages of the way the man is created to undergo. So let us be careful and let us be wise as we choose the people to marry and the people to stay within life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pastor, for your time. Thank you for the questions thank you for the answers that you've given us, the advice that you've given us. And I believe that you've really opened our eyes, and now we will date differently, as Joseph has said, because you've really tackled some of the burning questions that we youths have been asking. So I kindly ask you to maybe give us your final remarks on the way forward, how we're supposed to be to carry ourselves, or yeah.
Wow, great. It's indeed, it's been a great time to have you guys with me. I always love to talk to young people concerning these matters, relationships and such. because I believe that this is what God has called us. If we can keep this generation pure, then we have a church tomorrow. Because these matters, sex and relationship, is actually what is killing churches. When you look at what churches are falling, is they are falling on the basis of purity and such like things. So if our young people can keep their ways pure, as Psalms 119 says, I can assure you we have a church. Now let me just say this as I also bring this to an end. Most of us, we give up so quickly when it comes to matters, relationships or dating. You approached a lady like Joseph, you approached a lady and she said, I have a man. You give up quickly, you say now, and maybe you had prayed, you say, now let me try another one. That should not be the end of the road. Later you approach, okay, you not approach, but somehow you feel this man, you are fit for him, but he's also not seeing you. Don't give up so quickly. Fight, especially for men. You've been created to fight. Fight for your women. You see a woman who you think you love, fight for that woman. It doesn't matter how many answers she's giving you. I have a man, oh, my man is richer than you, forget all those stories. Those are stories. Fight for that lady until you get, until maybe she, if you confirm later they are now married, it's okay. Or they are in courtship, it's okay. But fight. Let me tell you, I've come to write this quote somewhere, and I've loved it because I've seen it work. That best lovers are always enemies in the beginning. Let me repeat again. Best lovers are always enemies in the beginning. And enemies or bad enemies are always good lovers at the beginning. Hope you get me. Most of the best lovers we see, they began on an enmity ground. One rejected the other, another one said no, I can't marry you, you are a useless man, you are a useless woman, no. But when you find later, they become the best lovers. I think you've had several testimonies of, even including me. I told you my wife hated me so much because I used to wear a very long coat, which is so huge. And she really hated that. But we ended up to be the best lovers. I've heard even so many pastors say something like that. So let not that beginning brushing of shoulders keep you off. Know what you're going for. If you feel that woman fits you, fight for her. If you feel that man fits you, find a way to reach him. That one will be important. The last thing I want to say is weapons are never kept public. Somebody say amen. Amen. Weapons are never kept public. Have you ever watched people who are carrying a pistol with him just in the hands, or carrying a knife with them? Have you ever seen a Maasai just carrying their sword? They will always hide it somewhere in those shukas. Let me come to what I mean. As a woman, as a man, you have your weapons. Those are, your sexuality is your weapon. Praise the Lord. Those weapons are never public. They should always be private unless an enemy appears. Unless you've met an enemy in front of an altar. That is now your enemy for the rest of your life. Unless you found him, you found her, and you've said, yes, I do. That is now when you have to expose your weapon. So keep your weapons private. People should never know how secure you are until you get to that point when now you are allowed to do so by the Bible. And that is what I mean. When you keep exposing your weapons to everybody, what happens is you lose security. Yeah? If today Kenya just exposed all their weapons and say, this is where we keep our weapons, this is what, we will have lost security, because when an enemy comes, they know where to target. But as long as they are in a secret place, no one will ever know how powerful or how weak you are. And that one will keep off your enemies. All you do, walk your head high, be confident, be courageous, keep yourself very good. If you are a young man, make sure you brush yourself. When you come out of the house, you're looking nice. Let people fall into tunnels looking at you because they have admired you. If you are a lady, keep yourself on top of everything. Make sure you are the best. Praise the Lord. Because outside here we have competition. So make sure you are the best. You are wearing the best. You are updated. Yeah? You are updated. You are the lady of these days. That one keeps you or gives you a much better person in future. You can be approached by somebody riding a bicycle because they can rate you from there. They know you fit them. Or at the same time, you can be approached by somebody who has succeeded in life, and may say so because you have rated yourself that way. Are we together, guys? So please, I know you have enjoyed us. Please take these advices, practice them wherever you are. For such things, we always say you can do them at home because they are important. They will keep you safe, they will keep you guided, and you will be a successful person. Thank you so much for the time. God bless you.
Once again, thank you, Pastor, and my panelists for your time and your contribution. And the viewers will come to the end of our show whereby we'll be talking about relationship and we're talking about dating. And I hope that it has really helped you and that you're going to practice whatever our pastor has told us. So don't forget to tune in to our next episode, and remember to keep safe, sanitize your hands, wash your hands, keep social distancing, and God bless you. Bye.